What's up, everybody? How are you guys doing? Welcome to Jake Richardson's Coaching Corner. We are on episode 26 of season 2. The topic of the day is negative thinking and how it affects your mind, body, soul, and financial being. First off, what is the definition of negative thinking? The definition is thoughts that are negative and random in nature and a reference to oneself. So it is pretty much just like it said in the definition, random thinking. So you are constantly randomly thinking of yourself in a shitty light or life in a shitty light where you think bad things are going to happen and you'll never get the things that you want. And it is completely random throughout your day. I can see how this could affect and ruin your day every single minute of every single hour of every single day. So definition wise, it is not good. It is something you can see somebody getting trapped in, where when it happens the first day, that happens again, and it just becomes norm. More often than not, when things happen in repetition, they end up just becoming norm to the point where you forget how it even started. This is just how your being is. This is just how your life is, which is not good at all. So my best advice to jump right off the fucking bat, if you are somebody that this sounds like, break the fucking habit. Find ways when you're thinking negatively to flip it. Here's one that I've found out, and here's one that I hope helps you. Most people hear a voice in their head when they're hearing something negative. And if it's something that's happened week over month over year over decade, you think it's your voice. More often than not, it is not your voice. There is somebody in your past, if it is a significant other, if it is a family member, if it is a frenemy, if it is an actual enemy that you talk to more often than not, or their voice resonates or means so much to you. And in the beginning, they were planting these negative seeds. And you would hear them say over and over and over, you will never be able to do that. You're going to just be this way. So forth and so forth. Negative comments. For a while, you only hear their voice in your head of how you can't do something, how you're not good enough. And then as the days, as the weeks, the months, the years, the decades go on, their voice starts fizzling away, and then your voice starts taking over. So all those negative things that they were saying to you, now you were saying in your head, and you forgot the original source. So what I tell a lot of clients to do is go backwards in time. All these negative things that you're hearing on a daily basis, what was their source? Where did they come from? And if you can pinpoint it back to that person, when you start hearing that same bullshit in your head, at least you get connected to somebody else and not yourself. When it's connected to yourself, it's very hard to get out of because we think what we're saying at all times is truth. When somebody else that has no validity is saying something, we don't necessarily listen to what they have to say. If somebody is talking negative about me and they're not living my life, I don't give a fuck what they gotta say. But I'm just built that way. My way of helping you is, like I said, those negative thoughts in your head, find the source in which where they started from. Tie that negative saying or that negative voice back to that person. So when you hear it in your head, it's not you saying it, it's them saying it, and you can tell them in your head, fuck off, I am going to do this positive thing, I am going to do great things. So that is a very simple trick that I would like for you to adopt that should help you as you get on in life. How is negative thinking detrimental to your body? It creates chronic stress, which upsets the body's hormone balance. So right off the bat, if you're negatively thinking, you're creating this chronic stress that goes through your body that starts messing your hormone balance. And then you become unbalanced and your hormones are shooting all over the place. You cannot function the right way. If you're a male, your testosterone is not going the places, or it's not growing and being the way it should be. If you're a female, your testosterone, your estrogen is going all over the place, and you're not becoming a healthy you. So like I said, right off the bat, not good. The more you can get into the positive side of things, the better your body works. When your body works better, your body looks better. When your body works better, you tend to feel and think better. So you see this full circle going on where it's the chicken and the egg thing. You gotta just start somewhere. And if you do that, it'll full circle to where your mind, body, soul, and when those things are working at a high level, your finances just fall right into place. What's the other thing? Makes you less motivated to get up and do things. So physically, right off the bat, you're less motivated to do things, which means that you become out of shape, which means your hormones go even further off of whack, which means, once again, negative circle, where it just goes in big old movement. You cannot just do one thing. You gotta do them all, and they all flow. Like I said, the positive ones flow, and then in the other direction, the negative ones flow. So that is another shitty one. You can't just go half-ass. Sorry to tell you, in life, if you go half-ass, you will find yourself in shitty situations. When you go full, as long as it's positive, you'll be in positive positions. When you go full negative, you'll find yourself in fully negative situations. So that's a big one. Number 3, makes you feel like your body is never good enough. This is gotta be in the high 90 percentile of human beings. A lot of human beings in some way or another don't feel like they're good enough, or don't feel like they are the best them that they can possibly be. And a lot of this has to do with negative thinking. We're looking down into somebody else's field. Somebody else has a better physique. Somebody else has more money. Somebody else has a better relationship. Instead of looking at what we have and appreciating, we're always looking some other way. And if you do decide to look in other directions, nothing will ever make you happy. All the money in the world won't help. Being in shape and getting all the compliments won't help. Having people around you that love you, you'll need another person to love you, because if that other person doesn't love you, it's not real love and it won't help. So you need to tackle here first. So tackle the brain. Figure out what truly makes you happy. A lot of people don't do that. A lot of people do what they think people expect them to make them happy, because they're worried about judgment and they're worried about life. You shouldn't care about that. You should care about yourself and only what makes you happy, as long as it is in a healthy, positive movement. I would never condone somebody being healthy or being happy shooting up or smoking crack or eating themselves into becoming 500 pounds. That is not what I mean. I mean real happiness. People that eat themselves into 500 pounds, if you interview them, they're not happy. People that are doing hardcore drugs, deep down inside, are not happy. They're using these things to mask and give them that quick shot of adrenaline, that quick shot of positivity that masks the 90+% of the rest of their day that fucking sucks. My happiness that I'm talking about is getting in shape, believing in something, creating real strong relationships where people can show you on a daily basis that they love you. Those are the things that I want you to create. And get out of the mindset of paying attention to other people. The more you can focus on yourself, and the more you can really pinpoint what will make you happy, the quicker you can live. Because when you figure those things out, you are living at a very high level. When you're constantly competing or you constantly think that you're not good enough, you'll always be here. The best restaurants in the world will taste like McDonald's. The coolest people you ever meet would be just as disappointing as that crackhead smoking crack down the street. So you need to find your true happiness, and that all starts with your brain, then that goes into your body, then that goes into your spirituality. And as you're moving, you're affecting people. And when you affect enough people, people want to hear you, people want to be around you, and then you get paid. So it all, like I said, big circle, big movement, as long as you go 100% with it. How is negative thinking detrimental to your mind? Number one, prolonged negative thinking diminishes your brain's ability to think, reason, and form memories. So if you're constantly thinking negative, you have no room for memory. You have no room for reason. You have no room for thought. So those three things, when it comes to your brain, we don't realize we use them a lot. And when you're constantly negative thinking, then you can't think with a clear mind. You can't reason like a normal human being. And you can't memorize and pay attention. And when that is happening, people don't want to be around you. If you cannot think clearly and you're constantly forgetting, or when you cannot reason and it's your way or it's the highway, nobody will want to be around you. The only people that want to be around you are people like you. Then what do you guys do all day? You argue, you bicker. You don't even like being around each other, but the only reason why you're around each other is because there's nobody else to be around. Do not allow negative thinking to control your life and affect your life in such a bad way. I personally do not know a lot of people that think negatively, that are living the life that they want to live, or have the relationships that they want to have. Because, like I said, who wants to be around that? I have a rule in my life. You have to do one of three things for me. You have to make me think, you have to motivate me, or you have to make me laugh. If you can do one of those three things, you are very valuable to me, and I need to be around you. If you don't do any of those things, then get the fuck out of my life, because you're probably going to jump in with negative thought process. And I have no room for negative thought processes. I only want to be up around positive, because when I'm around positive, I do great things, they do great things, and we're pushing forward. And I have no time to waste. Life is too short for me to waste time with negative thinking. If you wanted to, on a daily basis, you can find negative in the world. Turn on TV, turn on social media, walk down the street, you'll find something. But on the flip side, you could always find positive on a daily basis. Same thing. You can go on social media. You can turn on your TV. You can go outside. You're doing the same thing. But the thing that you control is the outlook, is what you decide to search for, what you decide to see. And if you decide to see good, you always see it. If you decide to see bad, you'll always see it. And your negative or positive thinking is only controlled by you. If you could digest that and you can understand that and you could change that, man, life will start the second that it changes. So do not hesitate and do not lightly listen to what I just said. If you need to hear that again, rewind that shit and listen to exactly what I said, because you control, nobody else controls your own life. Number two, a study reported in the Journal of American Academy of Neurology found that cynical thinking also produces a greater detrimental risk. Cynical, negative, poisonous thinking will run you into detrimental physical and mental risks. If you have a grudge and you cannot let it go, you are only hurting yourself. That person that you cannot stand, that is pulling this emotion out of you, is just hurting you even more. And you think that you are in control. These people that you cannot stand, they are in control. So you have to learn how to quickly say, fuck it. I'm going to move on with my life. I'm alive. The people I love are alive. there's a lot of room for some great times. Somebody did me wrong, but I can walk away from it. Fuck it. Walk away from it and continue your life and have a good one. If you cannot do that, they will control you and they're in control, and your life will be dictated on their moves. Your life should only be dictated on your moves and nobody else. Does negative thinking help your pocketbook? Fuck no. Look at the highly successful people on this planet. The biggest percentage of them are living a great life, are positively thinking. People want to be around them because they're doing amazing things. There are not a lot of negative people that are doing amazing things that are financially successful. There are some, obviously, in life. It's never going to be 100% one way. There will be some, and you could use them as a reference. But guess what? Almost 100% of those people, if you look at how it ends horribly. They die horribly. They die miserable. They don't lead a good life. If you're going in negative, you'll probably go out negative as well. So don't be one of those smart asses that hears me say that statement and looks up somebody that lived a really negative, successful life, because they're outliers. And like I said, they end in shit. Their families don't love them. They die horribly. Everybody just wants their money. They are a recluse. The ones that are successful, that are super happy, live an amazing life. Their family loves them. They're super sad at their funeral. Not fucking jumping for joy because Daddy Warbucks passed away and now they got a whole bunch of money, and they don't even bury his ass. They just fucking put him in a car and hit gas and let him go off a cliff. Nobody wants that shit. You want to live a positive, positive, fun one. And the majority is positive fun. There's a small minority that have been successful negative, and those motherfuckers die horribly anyways. Does negative thinking help your faith? This one is probably the closest to 100% no. Name a faith that is based on negative thinking, and I bet you they don't have a lot of people worshiping whatever they're pushing out. Faith within itself is positively built. Every single one of them. Go through every powerful one, and it all is based on positivity, love, unity, these amazing things. So if you were somebody of faith, you better be positive as all get out. Because if you are somebody of faith and you live a negative life, you are a hypocrite. And you need to dive deeper into your faith and find the positives, because you cannot, in my mind, really be a human of faith and live a negative life. It's a contradiction that makes zero sense to me. And if that offends you, I hope it offends you. Because more often than not, if something offends you, it's because you know it's true. And my best advice is, if it offended you and you're a big enough human being to admit that it's true, change. We could change every single day. We change clothes every day. Why can't we change our mindset at any time? You don't wear the same clothes every day. You're not wearing the same underwear every day. I don't wear the same hat every day. So if you could change that stuff, you should be able to change your mindset, because you had your mindset longer than you had this shirt. So why can't you change it? The reason why is because you don't want to, because you like living in this negative life. Negative is easy. Positive is hard. It is really hard to be on this planet and constantly smile, constantly have a good outlook, and be positive. Negative is easy. More often than not, who are the most negative people that you'll see on a daily basis? Homeless crackheads. Talking to themselves, yelling at you. If you're in the grocery store, they're talking shit. They're asking for money instead of going out and getting it, like a kid that could go to a lemonade stand and get some money. And they're living a negative life. Don't be that person. You could do way more. And I believe that you could do way more. So don't allow that to pull you down. And dive further into faith. If you're somebody that is speaking of faith, be that and be a light for others to get warm next to, and then be positive, and then work on their negative mindset and turn into a positive one. What does negative thinking help? It helps kill your ambition. Negative thinking will kill your ambition. So many people have great ideas or want to do big things, and they think negative, they'll never do them. Their ambition, super low. What else helps kill your possibility of success? There's so many people out there, athletes, actors, construction workers, doctors, that were all potentially ready to make that next jump. They decided not to because they listened to either somebody or they listened to themselves, and they did not. And now they're not doing the job that they should be doing. They're not the best athletes. They're not the best actors. They're not the best construction workers. They're not the best doctors. They're not the best teachers. Because they second guessed themselves and they played themselves the fuck out. Go into life with uncanny confidence. Go into life with confidence so big that pisses people off. Because the only reason why it pisses them off, like I said before, is because that's something that they want to be. And if it's something that they want to be, piss them off every day until they finally make that step and they finally make that jump. That's the best thing that you could do. What else does negative thinking help? Helps kill your relationships. There are a lot of people that I can think of that talk negative and act negative on a daily basis. I do not pick up their phone calls. I do not converse with them because it is something that I do not believe in. That doesn't mean that one day they could switch their mindset. They can do positive things. And I will pick the phone up. I will talk to them. We'll have a relationship. But until then, you got to find out on your own, because you cannot lead a horse to water and expect them to drink. You can just lead them. And if they don't drink, fuck them. That's on them. It's up to you to feed or give yourself that water. Quench your own thirst. Feed yourself. Go find your food. Life is too short. You cannot waste time on people that don't want to do better. And it is absolutely okay to walk away from them. Don't turn your back fully on them. Make sure you're walking away where you can still see them. But to help them at the end of the day, you got to walk away. If you're around and you're picking up the phone call every time and you're listening to them, you're just feeding the beast. And you could feed somebody positive or you can feed somebody negative. And if you're giving them positive information and it's going one ear out the other, they don't respect you. They don't really care about you because they don't respect or care about themselves. And if somebody doesn't respect or care about themselves and you respect and care about yourself, get away from them. That's the best thing you can possibly do. What does positive thinking help the mind? Positive thinking can lead to enhanced creativity, staying focused, problem-solving skills, and overall mental productivity. If you are thinking positively, your mind will flourish. You will be successful. You will have great relationships. Your faith will be really strong. So the best thing that I could force on you is whatever way helps you think positively. If that is playing sports that you enjoy playing, if that is going to events you enjoy going to, if that is anything positive, go towards it, because all it's going to do is open up your brain and allow you to think. So as we're getting closer to the end, that's what I'd like to leave you with. We're not done yet, but those are the major things I want to drive home, is be in those positive spaces. Everywhere that makes you feel good, be there and don't be apologetic for it, because that's only going to help you get even better. How does positive thinking help the body? Lowers levels of distress and pain. Greater resistance to illness. There are many studies on this. Doctor, go look it up. Go to Google, And you can find a lot of case studies about how positive thinking saves people from major illnesses and gets people out of major illnesses. Laughter, positive thinking, those two things, there have been many of time where people have been on their deathbeds, switch the thought process up, start laughing. Months later, walk straight out the fucking hospital and live another 20 or 30 years. Over and over and over, this stuff happens. And we still insist on thinking negatively, thinking that it's going to prolong your life. That shouldn't get prolong your life. That's just only going to kill you faster. What will prolong your life is thinking negative or thinking positive and laughing your ass off, enjoying the day, enjoying the moments. So if you think that I'm just up here ranting and raving, jump onto Google, search, find the case studies. There's a bunch of them. There's a lot of them that the second somebody finds out they have cancer and they start going in that negative tunnel, they die months later. Those strong ones that believe that they'll live, think positively, laugh, and they live a long time. History has shown positive thinking wins way more. A lot of people that are very positive, influential, they reverberate through time. You'll know them for hundreds of years. The negative ones, like I said, you might know them. You always you can't appreciate a positive. You don't really know the negative. So there's a bunch of them out there. But watch how the story ends for these two types of people. The positives, they get days. They get celebrated once a year. They get parades. They get all these great things where just because death happens doesn't mean that your positive impact doesn't reverberate. What do negative people get? They get stupid ass sayings of how negative they were that turn into sayings decades or centuries later. They get made fun of in movies. They get dog shitted on, as they should. So look at those two. Which one would you want to be? The positive that people rejoice over, or the negative that people shit on? Me personally, I'd rather be the positive that people rejoice over. And with that being said, we're done. Thank you guys very much for listening. I very much so appreciate it. I'm back in it. I took a little hiatus, but we're back, baby, and we're going to keep it moving. So thank you very much for listening. Play it again. Shoot it to a friend. I'm out. Peace.